Monica, my darling, it seems like a...
It feels like a femme fatale film.
Yeah, it feels like a femme fatale film, but actually it's not. It's so much more than that.
So
That's the magic of Vasan. He's using the genre and all the tropes of it, but how he's subverting it. हर भाषा का rhythm होता है. So if you catch onto that rhythm, then it's easier. I just listen to people. You just try and get to that rhythm, and I don't overthink it. Yeah, मतलब I think it's a very instinctive thing. आप जैसे लखनऊ जाते हो तो सब हाँ हम और आप और ऐसे करके बात करते हो तो I also start talking like that. You know, you just have to, I guess, really like be from there.
ज़्यादा pretentious नहीं हो रहा आपके लिए conversation?
क्यों?
मतलब the kind of questions that I'm asking.
अब तू तेरे ऊपर है, तू बता. Are you feeling pretentious?
मतलब वो तो मेरे को हमेशा ही लगता है.
शुरू करें अंताक्षरी लेके प्रभु का नाम.
Huma, thank you so much for joining. It's such a big pleasure. I'm a big admirer of your work.
Thank you so much. So sweet.
And
I love your page. I think it's such an incredible, fun page, and I follow it.
Thank you so much.
So well done for turning your passion into a profession.
Oh, same to you. Same to you.
Thank
you. And your journey is so inspiring. I was just talking to you, and I've been seeing your interviews. I know that you are also from Delhi University. You were a part of the Delhi University theatre circuit.
Yes.
And also I am also from that space. So I know how special that is. मतलब जब भी ऐसा होता है ना कि मैं बॉम्बे में जब भी जाता हूँ और and I meet people who are from the DUTC background. मैं राज सर से मिला था, राजकुमार से. He was also doing theatre in ARST. अभी I met Tahir Rajwasin. He was in Hindu. तो मतलब एक वो जो होता है ना कि जो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी थिएटर सर्किट वाले लोगों का जो आपस में कनेक्ट होता है, मेरे को लगता है there's something special there.
And honestly, दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में जो थिएटर होता है वो वाकई मतलब पूरे देश में I think मतलब in my humble opinion best theatre है because I feel like हम इतने प्लेस करते हैं, इतनी वर्कशॉप्स करते हैं, इतना यहाँ वहाँ जाते हैं. आई रिमेंबर लाइक व्हेन आई वाज इन कॉलेज भारंगम होता था, भारत रंग महोत्सव at NSD. So we used to go there from morning till evening, just running from one audi to the other, watching different performances from across the country. और जो हम कॉलेज लेवल पे जो प्लेस करते थे वो वाकई मतलब they would put professional theatre things to shame. So I think whatever I have done as an actor is because of my DU days. It's because of the fact that I did so much theatre and such different kinds of theatre. Nukkad natak, English theatre, Hindi theatre, you know, bada production, chota production, paise nahi production, sab.
Yeah. I think one thing that time teaches you is just humility. मतलब तुम किसी भी बैकग्राउंड से हो, एक तो सब लोग एक साथ काम कर रहे होते हैं. Like there is absolutely no bias there at all.
बिल्कुल.
And second कि मतलब बिल्कुल एक तरीके से गुरिल्ला काम कर रहे हो तुम.
और बहुत मजा आता है. मैंने किया है, मतलब झाड़ू लगाया है कि अच्छा कोई है नहीं तो खुद झाड़ू लगा रहे हो, खुद कॉस्ट्यूम्स कर रहे हो, खुद लाइटिंग कर रहे हो. मुझे याद है मैं Act 1 एक ग्रुप में थी, one of the oldest Hindi theatre groups.
Rajkumar was also in Act 1.
No, Rajkumar was not there. Lots of other people, Piyush Mishra, Manoj Bajpayee,
yes.
So NK Sharma was our acting guru, and I mean I credit him a lot for a lot of things that I know or don't know. But no, he really is someone very very special in my life. And हम लोग एक प्ले कर रहे थे, द अमेरिकन पायलट. मैं उस पर राहुल बग्गा, हमारा उस टाइम के काफ़ी सारे लोग थे. सो वी वर जस्ट डूइंग प्ले एंड कुछ तो हुआ कि सम इशू हैपेंड एट इंटरवल पॉइंट और वो स्टेज का ना कुछ चेंज करना था एंड सम मेस हैपेंड एंड नाउ वी आर पैनिकिंग कि ये स्टेज को बनाना पड़ेगा. तो हम लोग सब कॉस्ट्यूम पे गए और ऐसे हाथ से लेके ईटे वीटे लगा रहे ताकि वो स्टेज का एलिवेशन कुछ करना था फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर सीक्वेंस. एंड सडनली आई टर्न एंड ऐसे दो लोग कुछ ऑडियंस पे प्ले देखने आए थे और वो आके हमारी हेल्प कर रहे हैं. And I realized that they were our seniors from
DU?
No, not my seniors. They were seniors from Act 1, the group. Okay. And there was Sujit Sarkar and one of his friends. So suddenly I'm like, that's Sujit Sarkar, and he's also helping us do the stage. But because he was also part of Act 1, तो होता ना कि अरे यार stage लगाना है. So he also got involved, and I thought that was such a
so cool.
sweet and such a cool thing to experience, because I think once you're part of that theatre community ना वो चीज़ कभी जाती नहीं है.
100% यार.
Like मुझे लोग बोलते हैं आप अभी थिएटर करोगे, मैं कहा मेरे को बहुत दिल है, मैं थिएटर करूँगी ना तो मैं बाकी सारे काम छोड़ दूँगी. क्योंकि तो अपने आप में एक नशा है. It's a different thing.
Completely agree with you. Just that feeling of being on the stage when that light falls upon you. There's no thrill like that. मतलब like being on the set I'm sure is great. पर वो चीज़ बहुत अलग है. अच्छा देखो तरला आ रही है. You know, it's a food-based film. Obviously, it's a biopic. But when I say food in cinema, what is the first thing that you think of?
Food in cinema?
Yeah.
The Qureshi family.
Of course.
Me and my brother.
Yeah.
No, but I think I love food films. I think food films are really special. I think कुछ तो उनको देख के ना there's an अजीब सी warmth that comes. You know, Chef I really enjoyed as a film. I really enjoyed Ratatouille. They make you feel something very feel good, very wholesome about these films.
Yeah.
I've done a food film before this, Love Shakti Chicken Khurana.
Of course.
But a very different kind of
It's such a beautiful film, yaar. I feel like it's one of those अभी बहुत underrated films बोलते हैं, but Love Shakti Chicken Khurana is truly underrated.
Yes.
And I think it was our earliest performances.
It was actually my second film, just after Gangs of Wasseypur.
Were you shooting it simultaneously, no?
No. I finished Gangs, and then a few months after that, I started Love Shah. When we shot it in Ludhiana, I still remember, in a place called Laltong. और कड़ाके की सर्दी में हम वहाँ पे शूट कर रहे थे और इतना अच्छा खाना खा रहे थे because it was so cold ना. So all your बाजरे की रोटी and saag and all that lovely मक्खन वाला food we used to have. Thankfully I had lots of warm clothes to wear.
मतलब ये तो चीज होती होगी when you're working with food films, you must be getting to eat a lot of food.
No, actually you're getting to eat a lot of food. There's a lot of food around. But वो ना दिन भर आप खाने की शक्ल देख के वो खाने की फिर हसरत खत्म हो जाती है.
Yeah. But okay, so if I have to ask then, films that have had the greatest influence on you while growing up. Are there any films like that?
Yeah, all 90s films.
All 90s Indian films?
All 90s Indian Hindi films. हम लोग अंग्रेजी फिल्में तो मैंने बहुत बाद में देखना शुरू किया, कॉलेज में उसके बाद. बट पहले तो हम सिर्फ हिंदी फिल्में देखते थे और थिएटर में जाके देखते थे. और मेरे घर के पास पारस सिनेमा हॉल था. I was born in Kalkaji, so till 6th standard I was living in Kalkaji. And then our family moved to GK1, the house where we live in currently as well. And तो जाके जो भी फिल्म आती थी वो देखते थे. वीकडे पे अलाउड नहीं था, बट वीकेंड पे वी यूज्ड टू गो, बट दैट वुड डिपेंड ऑन हाउ गुड यू वर. Right. And whether you did your homework on time and you were not naughty or whatever, so we'd go watch. So I remember seeing Jurassic Park से लेकर हम आपके हैं कौन, all Shah Rukh Khan, Kajol films, like they were the films I really grew up on.
Yeah. And later, मतलब when you start discovering English films, when you start discovering international films?
I think it's, वो जो usual जो big films होती हैं, like a Titanic or Man Behind the Mask or like all these. Actually, I remember we used to have a VCR player in our house. तो 2 फिल्में हमारे पास उसकी tapes होती थी, बाकी we used to rent out. तो एक थी शोले और दूसरी थी विजिट ऑफ ऑज.
ये दो चीजें
तो हमारे पास परमानेंट थी, तो जब भी खाना खाते वक्त कोई भी एक लगा देते थे. तो शोले एंड ऑल द डायलॉग्स एंड विजिट. और
अब देखो मतलब हमारा हजारों फिल्में होती हैं एट आवर डिस्पोजल और फिर हम लोग सिलेक्ट करते रह जाते हैं कौन सी करें.
करेक्ट.
आप मिस करते हो कभी उस वाली चीज को, मतलब जस्ट एज
आई डू एक्चुअली, बिकॉज़ आई फील लाइक क्योंकि फिल्मों का एक्सेस इतना कम था और इतना था नहीं, तो शायद प्यार भी ज्यादा था या एक्साइटमेंट भी ज्यादा थी. आई रिमेंबर स्टार मूवीज पे हम लोग फिल्म देखते थे, मैं और मेरा भाई. तो बहुत सारी फिल्म्स जो हमें पसंद थी, लाइक these American teenage kind of films, like Dirty Dancing.
10 Things I Hate About You. Have you seen that?
I've seen that. I do like that. Or Ted and Bill's Bogus Journey. These kind of films, so हम लोग रात को बैठ के ना, because और लगा के एकदम धीमी आवाज पे सुन के देखते थे. तो I mean I remember that and I really like. Now तो you just flick and you have so many options. It's quite easy.
मतलब अब तो सच में ये होता है कि तुम खाना खाने के लिए बैठे हो और खाना खत्म हो जाता है. खाना खत्म हो जाता है.
देखो क्या
सिलेक्ट नहीं हो पाता.
कितना कुछ है. हाँ.
Yeah. Okay, and with Tarla, I mean, when it comes to like biographical films, when it comes to playing a real life personality, there's always that question, right? कि मतलब do you also inhabit the mannerisms of the person, the voice, the child hal and all of that, or do you just capture the essence of the person and make it your own?
A bit of both. I don't believe in mimicking somebody. Right. I feel like I'm an actor, I'm not a mimicking artist. तो फर्क होता है ना. और आप मिमिक करके आप वो बहुत surface level पे उस कैरेक्टर को अप्रोच करते हो. तो जब when Tarla Dalal was offered to me, the film was offered to me, I was very nervous because I was like, मैं तो दिल्ली से हूँ, whether it's region or whether it's how I look, there is no similarity. Tarla ji was of course different body type, her facial structure was different, much shorter. So I was a bit nervous, and I was talking to Piyush, my director, who's by the way wonderful. It's his first film, but I think he's a wonderful maker, and I really enjoyed working with him and collaborating with him. तो हमारी बात हुई कि क्या करें, कुछ प्रोस्थेटिक किया जाए, but we realized कि प्रोस्थेटिक feasible नहीं होगा because तो हम बहुत गर्मी में शूट कर रहे थे. And it was very hot, and also I had a lot of cooking to do right in the film. So पता चला जब खाना बनाते our face is melting, नाक गिर गई सब्जी के अंदर. So we wanted to avoid wasting time, right? Because obviously then shooting number of shooting days would go up and all that. So I was like, कुछ तो I want to do with my look, because if I just wear a sari, because I just done Maharani and people had seen me in that like a very simple housewife kind of avatar. So I wanted to do something. I was like, क्या कर सकते हो. So then Piyush came up with this idea that her teeth were slightly bigger than mine. So should we change something with that? So we got 2 dentures kind of thing made. One was like a wider piece that I used to wear here, which made this part of my face stick out like Tarla ji's, and the front 2 teeth were slightly bigger than mine. So that gave that effect of a very toothy smile. And of course, we tried hundreds of glasses to get the right glass that looked like Tarla ji's glasses and also suited my face. Different kind of wigs and length, because over the years she had different hair lengths also, even though it was short. So we did a lot of experiments with this, and for me, like, to get that look was pretty important. For me to get that accent, the way she spoke was very important. Because although she's a Gujarati lady, but she grew up amongst Marathi, so she had a very Marathi way of talking in Gujarati, and a lot of like very polished English words.
Right.
So हमने मैंने और हेतल जो हमारी एक्सेंट टीचर थी, हमने पूरे टर्म्स की उनकी ग्लॉसरी बनाई, एक ऑलमोस्ट एक डिक्शनरी बनाई कि ये वर्ड को ऐसे बोलती थी, ये वर्ड को ऐसे बोलती थी, ये वर्ड के लिए ये वर्ड यूज़ करती थी, तो वो हमने पूरा बनाया, एंड आई थिंक दैट वाज रियली रियली हेल्पफुल. सो फॉर मी यस, बाय द एंड ऑफ इट इट वाज लाइक ये सब आपने सब मसाला जोड़ लिया, बट देन आफ्टर दैट इट वाज अबाउट प्लेइंग हर ऑर्गेनिकली एंड जस्ट कैप्चरिंग द एसेंस ऑफ what it was. She used a lot of her hand gestures, you know, because when she used to describe how to cook, she didn't have a very polished, not a very like presenter way of talking. She had a very simple way of talking. And I've seen this with my mother also, and I've seen this with a lot of women who multitask and are homemakers. कि उनके दिमाग में ना बहुत सारी चीज़ें चल रही होती है, हाथ कहीं चल रहा होता है, दिमाग कहीं चल रहा होता है, इंस्ट्रक्शंस किसी को दे रही होती है. So this multitasking nervous energy होती है. So somewhere when I saw Tarla ji's videos, that's what struck about her style to me, कि बहुत ही gentle, बहुत ही affable, बहुत ही हंसमुख. At the same time she had that thing कि अच्छा कुछ दिमाग में कुछ तो चल रहा है और वो बता रही है. तो मैंने कहा ये अगर हमने ये उनकी energy capture कर ली, so I think we'll be close to who she was really.
यार आपने कल्चरल जो एक डिस्टिंक्शन की बात करी, मतलब द फैक्ट दैट शी वाज अ गुजराती वुमन हु ग्रू अप इन महाराष्ट्र, मतलब ये इतना स्पेसिफिक कल्चरल नुआंस है. एक तो मतलब स्पेशली द एक्सेंट, आई एम श्योर मतलब दैट मस्ट हैव बीन अ चैलेंज इन इटसेल्फ, much more than we would probably be able to notice. इसका क्रेडिट ना मैं हेतल को दूंगी, मेरी एक्सेंट कोच को, क्योंकि हम लोग ना हम डरे हुए थे कि ना गुजराती जब भी कोई एक्टर अटेम्प्ट करता है तो बहुत आसान होता है स्टीरियोटाइप करना, कैरिकेचर करना, या वो एक्स्ट्रा कुछ एम्फेसिस करना. एंड हम इसको ना हम इट्स अ लाइट हार्टेड फिल्म, बट ऐसे हम मिमिक्री नहीं करना चाह रहे थे, हम चाहते कुछ ऑथेंटिक कुछ क्रिएट करने की कोशिश करें. तो हेतल एक्चुअली फर्स्ट नोटिस्ड इट, एंड इस चीज़ से मैं भी कहीं ना कहीं आइडेंटिफाई करती हूँ, क्योंकि यू नो being a Muslim, raised in Delhi, my mother's a Kashmiri, but मेरी जो परवरिश है वो amongst Punjabis हुई in South Delhi. So I fully identify as a Punjabi, and I talk like a Punjabi, and I you know, so even if I'm talking in Hindi, it's a very Punjabi way of talking in Hindi. वो दिल्ली में सबका ये पड़ा हुआ है. हाँ, correct. तो पंजाब हरियाणा का. तो मैंने कहा अच्छा तो ये है ना basically, you could be Gujarati, but if you live amongst Marathis, then you'll become a little like that. Yeah. पर in general मतलब आपने तो इतने सारे मतलब अलग अलग भांति भांति के कल्चर्स के रोल प्ले करे हैं. यूपी बिहार से लेके आप हर जगह पे जा चुके हो. नॉर्थ आसान है मेरे लिए, नॉर्थ में कुछ भी करा लो मुझसे. राजस्थानी, हमें तो बता रही हूँ, नॉर्थ में राजस्थानी, हरियाणवी, बिहारी कुछ भी करा लो. वो अरावली के नीचे जाते ही थोड़ा सा आई गेट लाइक थोड़ा नर्वस कि अच्छा थोड़ा भी मेहनत करते हैं क्योंकि पता नहीं कुछ गलत निकलेगा. तो आई वुड लव टू प्ले अ साउथ इंडियन कैरेक्टर, आई वुड लव टू प्ले लाइक यू नो अनदर गुजराती मराठी कैरेक्टर. व्हाई नॉट? आई थिंक इट्स सच अ diverse country where every like few kilometers the language changes. So as an actor, like how cool for me to be able to play all these different characters. पर जब होता है कि when you're going to another completely different culture जिससे आप बहुत ज़्यादा unfamiliar हो, what are the first few things that you have to do as an actor? Like going to a new culture with it, and I think listening to people. मतलब अगर आप एक ऐसा कैरेक्टर प्ले कर रहे हो जो कि दूसरे कल्चर में है, आप पहले कैरेक्टर पे ध्यान दोगे या फिर आप पहले उस कल्चर को समझने पे ध्यान दोगे? A bit of both. I think most important thing is आप सुनो कि सामने वाला क्या बोल रहा है. You know, हर भाषा का रिदम होता है. तो if you catch on to that rhythm, then it's easier. So I just listen to people. कोई कैसे बात कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, उसका एक रिदम होता है. So if you just try and get to that rhythm, and then I just and I don't overthink it. मतलब I think it's a very instinctive thing. आप जैसे लखनऊ जाते हो तो सब हाँ हम और आप और ऐसे करके बात करते हैं. तो I also start talking like that. You know, you just have to, I guess, really like be from there. Are you natural in front of the camera? Like when you started, क्योंकि आप थिएटर वाले बैकग्राउंड से आए, थिएटर से कैमरा का ट्रांजिशन आपके लिए इजी था? इजी डिफिकल्ट तो पता नहीं, बट हाँ ज़्यादा समय लगा नहीं क्योंकि मेरी पहली फिल्म गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर थी, एंड आई थिंक everyone was like, is this your first film? Even now I get asked, that was your first film? I was like, yeah. They're like, but you were quite confident. I was like, अभी पता नहीं वो दिल्ली का confidence. But
बट नो आई थिंक थिएटर मैंने बहुत किया, और क्योंकि बहुत अलग अलग तरह के डायरेक्टर्स के साथ काम किया, अंग्रेजी हिंदी नुक्कड़ सब किया. और उसके बाद जब मैं बॉम्बे शिफ्ट हुई तो मोस्टली फर्स्ट आई स्टार्ट डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ टेलीविजन कमर्शियल्स. सो आई थिंक टीवी कमर्शियल 2 या 3 दिन की शूट होती है, तो उसमें आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें ना, आई गेस इट्स लाइक आपको समझ आ जाती
थोड़ा
है,
मेथोडिकल होता है वो.
हाँ कि समझ आता है अच्छा ये होता है, अच्छा ऐसे होता है. बट आई थिंक आई थिंक लाइक एनी आर्ट फॉर्म, लाइक एनी आर्टिस्ट, आई थिंक द मोर यू वर्क द बेटर यू गेट. So I mean, I think when I started off, now I look at some of the performances, I'm like, oh god, no.
कौन सी यार, कौन सी, मतलब आपकी फर्स्ट फिल्म से तो इतनी बढ़िया है.
हाँ नहीं, but still वो मुझे पता है ना, आपको क्या बताऊँ. वो मुझे पता है.
Are you somebody who is okay with revisiting your old performances?
Actually, no, not really. I don't like to watch myself, whatever. Maybe when the film is out, then I like to watch with everyone and I have a experience of it. But then I don't go back to it. I feel like it's a waste of time. I'd rather watch other people's work and like get inspired.
And is it just the performances that you are a little uncomfortable with, or is it also about the way that you look? क्योंकि ये भी बहुत होता है ना.
हाँ, इसलिए ना when I'm shooting, I don't look at the monitor.
Oh, you don't?
Because I'm like, I'm only looking at ये बाल ठीक करो, ये देखो क्या है, इसका सलवट आ रहा है. Like I'm like horrible actually. It's a horrible thing to admit to. तो
पर ये सबके साथ ही होता है ना.
हाँ, तो इसे मैं देखती ही नहीं हूँ. मतलब if I feel it कि अच्छा शॉट ठीक हो गया है, like I'm feeling it, then I don't do another. Then I don't go to the monitor.
Okay.
Unless the director calls it, Huma, come see the shot.
Okay. What kind of cinema are you fascinated by?
All kinds of cinema. I think cinema is fascinating. I don't think, because I grew up like enjoying all kinds of films. So I like watching all kinds of films. I don't, and which is why as an actor, I am able to work in all different kind of genres, which is why मैंने South Indian films भी की हैं, हिंदी फिल्म भी की हैं, बड़ी फिल्में भी की हैं, इंडी फिल्में भी की हैं, इंटरनेशनल काम भी किया है, साउथ में काम भी किया है, अब स्ट्रीमर्स पे काम भी कर रही हूँ. तो I feel like because I just enjoy film so much, I still approach it like an audience. I still approach it like that girl who's just excited by this world of cinema, and which is why I'm able to work in all these different genres and forms.
लेकिन यार आपकी फिल्मोग्राफी इतनी ज़्यादा रिच रही है, मतलब जिन फिल्मों की हम बात करें, मतलब अगर गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर, बदलापुर, मोनिका माय डार्लिंग, तो मतलब थ्री ऑफ माय, मतलब इट्स नॉट जस्ट माय ओपिनियन, ऑफ कोर्स दे आर थ्री ऑफ द मोस्ट लैंडमार्क फिल्म्स ऑफ मॉडर्न हिंदी सिनेमा अकॉर्डिंग टू मी. एंड मतलब आपने देखा ही होगा, हम पेज पे भी कितनी बार फीचर करते हैं मतलब इन फिल्मों को. तो सो like were these conscious choices for you? Matlab, that's why I'm asking ki what kind of cinema are you fascinated by, because it feels like you have been doing a very specific I mean you have been doing very diverse kind of films, but these specific films, matlab, it feels like it was coming from a place of some kind of specific fascination towards them.
I like pulpy films.
Oh, you do?
I like pulpy films. I don't know, I like retro films, I like noir films, I like them, they're fun. Like because I feel like the setting is so like Indian, but like the lensing of all these films is quite modern. Actually, that's the way I look at all of them.
That's very true.
Whether it's, and I think I first understood that in Gangs of Wasseypur, which was my first film. क्योंकि हम तो जाके मतलब पहली पिक्चर, आपको क्या ही पता होता है, आप जा रहे हो खुशी खुशी, ओ आओ पिक्चर करने को मिल रही है, आप जाके बनारस में शूट करते हो, 3-4 महीने का शूट होता है, वापस आते हो, सब लोग दोस्त बन जाते हैं, almost like a family, there's no star system, everyone's the same. So very in a sense it was very like a theatre group. वैसी वाली फीलिंग मुझे आई थी एक्चुअली गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर से. तो मुझे लगा ये तो बड़ा सही है, आई कैन डू दिस, ये तो हमने बहुत किया है. And then when the film, and I remember watching the film for the first time in a theatre in Cannes, when it was screened there for the first time.
सीधा कान में देखी आपने?
सीधा कान में देखी. और वहाँ पे
गमछा पहन के.
हाँ, गमछा पहन के. और बैक टू बैक दोनों पार्ट दिखाए, मैंने देखी फिल्म, and I'm just like, and I was looking also at the film and my performances, but also looking at the audiences, and it was like a multitude of people from all across the world, and how they were responding to that material. So I'm like, one second. This is a gangster drama, from Bihar, from a place called Dhanbad. Yeah. You're understanding this humor. You're laughing, you're crying with these characters. Oh wow. You're rooting for somebody. Oh wow, that is truly the power of cinema, right? It's not about language or whatever. And also the story is the same. Right, about this gangster, baap ka, dada ka, sabka badla lega Faisal. Like it's the most like filmy, almost corny line ever. But just it's the lensing of how you tell that story. Similarly with Badlapur, revenge. I know. I have lost count of how many revenge films I think we may have made, but it's the genius of Sriram Raghavan and how he chooses to tell that story.
Yeah.
And I was just fascinated because here I was, playing a sex worker, and there's a way in which we have been traditionally showing sex workers, but for me what was fascinating was, can a sex worker be violated? Can you rape a sex worker? Does she have any rights? And if through my performance I can even evoke a moment of sympathy for her, or empathy for her. Like, is our work done here? And of course, for me, like the clincher was the final scene when I asked Varun ki matlab, तेरा बदला तो पूरा हो गया, अब क्या करेगा?
So
you know,
good.
so
good.
I thought that was like, so these are things I feel like they're commercial, but they're also like cool.
Yeah.
I like cool commercial. Oh wow, that's I like that. I like cool commercial.
Cool commercial, yeah. That's our real moment.
I like cool commercial.
मतलब वासेपुर बदलापुर दोनों के बारे में एक चीज वो कॉमन है कि मतलब they both feel like on the surface they feel like revenge films, but they're actually not. Like they are criticisms of the revenge trope.
Yeah, of course.
I think people don't realize that.
Similarly, like Monica, My Darling is a you know, it seems like a what is the word for it?
It feels like a femme fatale film.
Yeah, it feels like a femme fatale film, but actually it's not. It's so much more than that. So and it's trying to and again, that's the magic of Vasan. Like he's using the genre and all the tropes of it, but how he's subverting it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you like just about your inspirations, okay? Do you have any acting inspiration first of all?
I get inspired by I don't have a particular acting inspiration, but I get inspired from a lot of people, like particular performances or particular moments in films. So I get inspired like that.
Are there any specifically some performances? आज तक जो आपने देखी हो?
I mean, I really enjoy what Alia does. I think she's one of the most complete actors. I really have been. I love Vidya ma'am. I think, you know, the way she just is so like refreshing, and just the kind of body of work that she has, and you know, I think it's so nice. I really enjoy watching other female actors like really like own the screen and like light it up. I really enjoy that. I thought like Konkana Sen Sharma is amazing. Even like if she does a short film like Gili Puchi, like she just does something like that just blows you away. So I feel like again like I want to see more of her. Yeah.
Are there any specific acting moments that you can remember? Acting moments on screen that really touched you?
Well, recently, like Badhai Do Mein, there was a moment, you know, the last 20 minutes of the film, I thought that was just
with Rajkumar,
magical. I thought that was really magical. You know, that scene on the rooftop with his mother, and then when he puts those the mask over his eyes, you know, dressed as a cop, I thought that was just like brilliant. I think well directed, well performed. It was just beautiful.
What does acting mean to you?
Acting for me is about trying to live a moment as authentically as possible. Like for me, what I'm excited about is to try. Of course, you know, it's make-believe, you know, it's film, but I'm trying to really play like living, breathing, three-dimensional character. Like people should be like, I know somebody like that. Like when I had seen Piku, you know, I had seen Mr. Bachchan play that Bengali man. I'm like, hey, I know a person like this. Like I know people like this. Like because I've done Delhi show, because CR Park mein aise hote hain. Like, you know, uncle. And I'm just like, so I enjoy like moments like that. And I want to be like, play characters like that.
Are you somebody who feels like you are constantly on the learn? Like, are you constantly learning?
Yes.
What kind of things do you?
Like, my brother tells me sometimes.
ज़्यादा pretentious नहीं हो रहा आपके लिए conversation?
क्यों?
मतलब the kind of questions that I'm asking.
अब तू तेरे ऊपर है, तू बता. Are you feeling pretentious?
मतलब वो तो मेरे को हमेशा ही लगता है.
Good one. Am I always learning? Yeah, I think I'm always learning. And growing and trying to grow at least. मेरा भाई मेरे को बोलता है कभी-कभी आप ऐसे ना एकदम ऐसे बात करते हो कि आपने कुछ काम नहीं किया. मैंने कहा बट मुझे ना वो बिगनर्स माइंड से काम करना अच्छा लगता है. Like I feel like I don't want to ever be that actor like oh I know everything. Like no, I want to be like अच्छा क्या है, अच्छा ऐसे कर से, अच्छा चलिए ट्राई करके देखते हैं क्या होता है. So yeah.
आपके वैसे I've spoken to Saqib once. I did one episode. I've been to your house in fact. The both of you live together only, no?
Yes. We
yeah.
do.
So
Which one, the Juhu house or the Bandra house? You now moved to Juhu.
Bandra.
Moved to Juhu, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah, my apologies for his behavior already.
No. It was great. Yeah, he was so sweet, such a good host, and we spoke about so many things. But that episode could never come out.
Why?
Because it was for 83, but it was recorded much before.
Oh, अच्छा.
मैं तो उसमें 83 के बारे में काफी बात हुई थी.
ये तो आएगा ना कि ऐसे करवा रहे हो फालतू में. देखो ना हिस्ट्री हमारे साथ ऐसे करता है, रिकॉर्ड करके चांस नहीं देता.
देखना पड़ेगा. ये बस ऐसी है.
Pretentious. This guy is pretentious.
Yeah, I've been called that a lot of times. But yeah, he said something so interesting. मतलब he was talking about how like he was in the fashion society of his college, and he used to see you guys doing theater. And but I would love to know from you, like from your lens.
What did he say? But he said कि
यार मतलब उसने ऐसे कुछ बोला था कि मतलब उसके लिए वो तुम लोगों को देखता था और उसको लगता था ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं कि मतलब ये लोग क्या मतलब इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं because he was in the fashion society so there used to be
correct
so how were you seeing like that how were you seeing like the glamour side of it
yes fashion तो मेरे को बहुत बाद में समझ आया लाइफ में I was a bookworm and I was like properly into books and studies and doing theatre because I enjoy doing theatre तो but and I think the joke in the family is कि I came to Bombay first to be an actor and Saqib came a few months later but his film मेरे डैड की मारुति released a few months before Gangs of Wasseypur so I'm like industry senior बन गया so Saqib is my industry senior
oh wow how is it to have like a sibling actor
I think it's phenomenal it's quite phenomenal I think I mean of course both of us started out together he's a few years younger than me but like I feel like I lean in very heavily on him for advice for moral support just someone to be over there बट हम लोग वही हंसते कि हम दोनों को कुछ नहीं आता फिर भी एटलीस्ट यू नो डूबते को तिनके का सहारा है ना इट्स ऑलवेज गुड टू हैव
कैसी ह्यूमिलिटी है मतलब
ह्यूमिलिटी नहीं है बट आप सोचो ना दो बच्चे दिल्ली के परिवार से बॉम्बे जाके वहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं आपको क्या ही पता होता है अगर मैं अपने भाई से पूछूंगी तो उसको कितनी नॉलेज होगी कितनी इन्फॉर्मेशन मेरे पास कितनी होगी एट बेस्ट यू कैन बी ईच अदर सपोर्ट सिस्टम फॉर मॉरल सपोर्ट बट यू कैन रियली एडवाइस द अदर पर्सन बिकॉज यू बोथ हैव वेरी लिमिटेड अंडरस्टैंडिंग बट आई थिंक कभी कभी ना एक्चुअली वही चाहिए होता है ज़्यादा ज्ञान नहीं चाहिए होता कभी कभी सब चाहिए होता है कोई आपके साथ रहे और आपको सपोर्ट करे एंड दैट बोथ ऑफ अस हैव डन एंड बीन देयर फॉर ईच अदर व्हिच इज व्हाई नाउ दैट वी हैव आवर ओन प्रोडक्शन कंपनी आल्सो Element 3 like you know I see that same sense of how we are trying to make films together as well and for me it's a really proud thing ki having worked 10 years in the business now you know we actually and coming from not a filmy background we're able to like that's purely because I love for films and wanting to tell films and make films and you know
you guys talk about each other's performances and all of that
yeah Saqib talks more about my performances than whatever and he makes a lot of fun of me guys I want to tell you he's like ye kaise bol rahe ho kya kar rahe ho or especially you know what he'll do na so we have a unsaid rule like if you're not happy with how sometimes it happens you're not happy with picture aapki kaisi bani hai aap your performance so we say very little we just let it go by but if I'm getting a lot of love so for example for Maharani I'm getting a lot of love so he'll catch hold of me saying kya kiya hai wo kaise bola tha वो and he make fun of me typical भाई behavior चिढ़ाने वाला जो होता है ना तो मैं क्या पूरे शो में तुमको बस वो एक चीज दिखी हाँ मुझे पता गंदा ऐसे करोगे so he does that which I love actually because I think that keeps both of us grounded
okay are you producing anything right now
yes we are producing something right now
are you writing anything on your own
no I'm not writing anything I'm not writing a script if that's what you're asking but yeah we're producing a film in fact it'll come out later this year
but do you have any writing because again I was seeing your interviews I know that during your theatre days you were writing and directing
yes I was
so do you have any
I am working on something but it's not it's a book it's not
so you have your filmmaking and writing aspirations as well
filmmaking to pata nahi I don't think I'll ever direct but yeah I do enjoy writing I write every day actually
oh you do
I write every day yeah it's like my de-stress thing
like
I think
journaling
I journal every day
okay
नहीं तो कैसे झेलोगे ये सब तामझाम कैसे झेलोगे बर्दाश्त करने के लिए लिखना पड़ता है
is there anything else that you do to de-stress
I read I sleep for sleep is my basic hard reset so jao you wake up the world is a better place and I don't get enough sleep so I'm always sleeping on flights or in the car sometimes on sets so I have no like suddenly like हाँ अच्छा सो रही है just sleeping
okay what kind of books do you like
I read everything autobiography I read a lot of self-help literature books on spirituality अब मैं थोड़ा non-fiction इतना नहीं पढ़ पाती I don't know for what reason but yeah I enjoy reading a lot of like these kind of books
okay कुछ recommend कर सकते हो books
कुछ recommend I just finished reading a very interesting book actually called The Mountain Is You
The
Mountain Is You which is a self-help book very interesting I recommend to everyone another book called The Artist's Way it's a book on journaling
yes
which I think everybody should do and I read a book recently इसपे बहुत सी फिल्म भी बनी है Where the Crawdads Sing
yes
which is also very
show
nice
बना है
उसपे नहीं फिल्म बनी है
film
okay अच्छी फिल्म है so that's something that I really enjoyed and yeah
okay Huma on an ending note I'm just going to end on like a slightly loaded question
oh god
मतलब इतना भी loaded नहीं है वैसे मैंने ऐसे ही कर दिया लेकिन okay what does happiness mean to you
what does happiness mean to me oh baba
था loaded
happiness is not a place happiness is not a destination happiness is a journey every single time I think I'm excited about something or I'm hopeful about something, I'm happy. Once I achieve it, that happiness is there, but it's there for like a few moments, and then I'm looking at something else. So I think happiness is that very हाथ को नहीं आती, very elusive thing. But the idea is never to reach there. The idea is to always be on that journey to happiness. वो बोलते हैं ना, मेरी बहुत favorite film है, Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, on that beautiful note, thank you so much, Huma.
Thank you.
This has been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining.
An unpretentious, lovely pleasure.
An unpretentious conversation. This might be our least pretentious conversation ever. But thank you so much. I love your films. I love your acting. I love your work. Looking forward to all of your future films as well, especially Tarla.
Thank you.
Which comes out on
7th of July on Z5. So please watch it and please let me know what you think.
Tarla, 7th of July, Z5. Please watch it. And this was Huma Qureshi on the Huma Qureshi podcast, and this is signing off.
Thank you.